Morning, Steve here in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Well, it's USDA report day. Usually the June report is not a big deal. At the end of the month, they have acreage and stocks, and they tend to be conservative until they see those numbers. But we've had such a wet spring that there is a group out there that feels the USDA will try to come in with lower corn acres and lower yield to kind of reflect the late plantings. I did see at the conference yesterday one guy that used to work for the USDA, and he's a very conservative guy, and he thought that today the USDA would drop corn acres 6 million and come up with a yield below 170. We do have one lowball analyst out there that believes that the final acres planted will be 86.3, the government's 92.8. They got a 165 yield, the government's 176, and they got a 12,800,000,000 bushel crop versus the government's 15 billion. In beans, they've got 84 million acres. USDA's 84.6. They got a yield of 45 versus the government's 49.5, and a crop of 3,700 versus the crop's 4,150. If those numbers actually do occur, prices are too low, especially on the corn side. It's just that when will we know those numbers? We may not know those numbers until September or October. So we don't know if the machines are the dominant players in the markets on a day-to-day basis. They may react positively to a number like that today, but follow-through may be limited. It is interesting to note that the weather maps went wetter. The maps for the Midwest saw some changes. Looks like it's wetter across the region over the next 10 days. Southern Plains will also be getting above average rains. The Delta will be the average rains. 11 to 16 day calls for above normal precip for most of the plains in the Midwest, with the potential for excessive rains again in eastern Kansas, Oklahoma, and the southern half of the Midwest. Also yesterday we saw weekly export inspections. Wheat's running 5% behind a year ago. USDA is currently forecasting a 3% decline. Corn 2% behind. USDA's looking for 6% down, and soybeans 26% behind. And USDA is forecasting a 17% decline. So inspections continue to lag the pace needed to get to the USDA numbers. The winter wheat harvest was 4% done. Crop was rated 64% good to excellent. That's the same as last week, and last year was 38. Spring wheat was rated 81% excellent versus 70 a year ago. 83% of the corn crop is planted and rated 59% good to excellent versus 77 last year, and that rating was a little bit higher than what the market had thought. Soybean plantings are 60% done. The average guess was 56, and last year was 92, and the average is 88. We're also looking at some unknowns as far as U.S. trade with China. The President of the United States said if nothing is done at the G20 meeting, he will slap tariffs on the remaining $300 billion of China goods. And also, just don't really know for sure if we have a deal with Mexico or not. There's like the President is saying one thing, Congress is saying another, and the Mexicans saying another. So we'll just kind of have to see how that unfolds. The Secretary of Agriculture reconfirmed overnight that if you have prevent plant acres, you will not be eligible for disaster aid payments. They are trying to figure out a way to get some kind of payment to those people. And again, we probably won't know until the 1st of August how much prevent plant acres will be, but a lot of people think that we could see as much as 10 million acres of corn not planted this year because of the wet weather. And certainly this forecast doesn't help as far as getting the corn crops planted. So overnight prices a little bit lower. I think the market was disappointed in the corn ratings and how much crops got planted last week. And I think the USDA's numbers could be a little negative for beans and wheat today. But we'll just see what the corn numbers are and see how the market reacts. Right now we've got the managed funds short about 18,000 wheat, long 57 corn, and short 116,000 beans. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day.